In this video, I will be solving the second part of second problem of UPSC Civil Services Mains 2022 Statistics Paper 1. So each Sunday, Fisherman visits one of the three possible locations near his home. He goes to the sea with probability 1 by 2, and he goes to the river with probability 1 by 4, and he goes to the lake with probability 1 by 4. So if he goes to the sea, there is a 80% chance that he will catch the fish, and corresponding figures for river and the lake are 40% and 40% respectively. So first, so we are asked to find probability that on a given day he catches a fish. So suppose like if I consider like S, R and L, so let's say they are denoting for like the sea, river and lake. So probability that he is catching a fish we are asked in the first part. So probability that he is catching a fish is probability that he is catching it in a probability of going to sea into probability of catching given he is catching it in the sea. So basically I am using total probability theorem plus probability that he is going to river into probability of catch given a river. So three mutually exclusive cases are there here, and probability of lake into probability of catch given the lake. So probability that he'll go to sea is 1 by 2, and probability that he'll catch a fish in a sea is 80%, so that is 0.8, plus probability that he'll go to a river is 1 by 4, and probability that he'll catch over there is 40%, that is 0.4, and probability that he is going for a lake is 1 by 4, and he is catching a fish over there is 0.6. So that means it is 0.4 plus 0.1 plus this will be 0.15, so that is 0.65. So there is 65% chance that he will catch a fish on a given Sunday. Now in the second question they are asking if on a particular Sunday he comes home without catching anything. So we need to determine the most likely place that he has been to. So first, if we find like probability of no catch given it is a sea is nothing but, so 80% is a probability of catching a fish. So there will be 0.2, 20% will be the probability that he is not catching in a sea. And probability that he is not catching a fish given in a river is 0.6 because 40% is the catching probability. So and similarly probability of not catching a fish in a lake is 0.4. So now that means probability that he's going to so probability of S, probability that he is going to a sea given like he is not catching a fish. So we can use our conditional probability here. So this is probability of S intersection no catch given probability of no catch. So if I multiply by probability of C by probability of C on both sides, so this will be probability of, so this component probability that S intersection no catch given probability of S, so that is nothing but probability of probability that he is not catching fish given it's a C into probability of S by probability of no catch. So we already found probability of catch. So probability of catch is 0.65. So that means probability that he is not catching a fish is 0.35. And probability of C, probability that he is going for a river, and probability that he is going to a lake, we already have them. So if I consider these again, so that means probability that S given not catching, as we just derived, like that is nothing but probability of not catching given C into probability that he is going to C divided by probability of not catching. So probability of not catching given C is 0.2 into probability that he is going to a C is 1 by 2 whole divided by 0.35, which is 0.01 by 0.35. Sorry, 0.10 by 0.35. And here from this we can find probability that he is going to a river and not catching fish. In the similar way, and probability that he is going to a lake and not catching, given he is not catching a fish. So this is probability of not catching given who is going to a lake divided into probability that he is going to a lake divided by probability that he is not catching fish. And here not catching fish, sorry, this is for a river and this is for the lake, not catching. So this we know the denominator is same for all them, 0.35 into probability that he is going for a river is 1 by 4, and even for a lake it is 1 by 4. Probability that not catching a fish given he went to a river is 0.4, this is 0.4. So 6 by 4 is 1.5, so 0.15 by 0.35, and this is 0.10 by 0.35. So that is 2 by 7, this is 3 by 7, and this is 2 by 7. So therefore, if on a particular Sunday he comes home without catching the fish, so we can see the highest probability is there for this middle one. So that means the probability that he is going to a river given that he is not catching a fish has a more probability of 3 by 7 when compared to the other two chances. So therefore he must have, the most likely place that he must have went on that particular Sunday where he comes home without catching fish is nothing but the river. So the answer for this part will be river, and for the first part the answer will be 0.65. So that's it for this video. We'll meet in the next video.